denting the line of scrimmage, and then Chubb's that big playmaking back, physical enough between the tackles, but also has got big enough speed.
And then Baker getting it done. He's looking for his tight end up 10-9 on a 1st and goal in the 3rd quarter, and there's Austin Hooper.
Yeah, I love the fact that they went back to this. He missed it in the first half, same play, gets his eyes backside, finds Austin Hooper for the touchdown.
No Ben in this game. Mason Rudolph playing. Had some good moments, and then he had this one.
Really good blitz package by the Browns defense. They drop Myles Garrett into coverage, and then that safety's just sitting there like, all right, throw me the ball, Mason Rudolph. A huge turnover for this defense that's needed.
And they'll switch sides on the field because it went to the 4th quarter, and then it went to Jarvis Landry, and the Browns are up 24-9.
I love this play call. You kind of get Landry sideline to sideline, and you hand it off to him for the touchdown. And then finally, you get the deep ball out of Pittsburgh's defense, something that Chase Claypool has done so well. Look at his ability to go up, kind of contest for that catch, overjump that defensive back, touchdown Pittsburgh.
That made it 24-16. And then under 2 minutes to go in the game, and this is Juju Smith-Schuster, and all of a sudden it's 24-22. Dan, how about the 2-point conversion play?
You got to give him a chance. You got to make sure at some point this guy's got the opportunity to go high point a ball, scramble around, give him a chance to go get his hands on that football.
Steelers still had chances. Steven Carlson somehow manages to come up with this onside kick. He's 89 on Cleveland there. For a moment there was kind of between the wickets, if you know what I mean, but he manages to hang on to it, and then, Dan, Baker Mayfield runs for the first down that ices the playoffs.
I love the play call by Stefanski, and look at the emotion from Baker Mayfield. You know, he's kind of representing that city, and just look how much it means to him to finally get that done in Cleveland.
Good for him. Good for them. The Browns will kick off Saturday. Colts, Bills in upstate New York. Sunday, Ravens, Titans will be 1:05 Eastern. That's our game on ESPN and ABC. And then Sunday night, these two teams we just showed you, the rematch. Browns, Steelers, Cleveland looking for its first playoff win since 1994. Top seed Kansas City will host the lowest remaining seed in the divisional round. And so, you know, Rex, I want to go back. I want to start with you quickly here because I want to go back to the Super Bowl. We were at the Super Bowl together, all of us on the show, and Baker Mayfield came and sat with us on our set. And I know you took away a lot from that conversation, and I think it made a difference.
No, I really did. And to me, it showed that this guy was humbling himself, and he was going to grow from it. And, I mean, I could sense, I knew he was telling the truth. And it paid off, I mean, big time. I mean, you want to talk about a heck of a year. Baker Mayfield is the reason why this team is where they are. I mean, that and the fact that you had Kevin Stefanski, they bring in an outstanding coach that said, you know what, Baker, we're going to move the pocket for you. We're going to make throws easier for you. And it worked great. But Baker Mayfield, man, hats off to you. You got your team in the playoffs. And this fan base, they really deserve this, man. It's one of the best fan bases in all of football. 18 years it's been. But I just go back to that conversation, and I was so impressed by Baker Mayfield. And like I said, I became a fan from that point on.
RC, how about the Cleveland Browns and the season they just put together?
Hey, man, you know, as a guy that Cleveland deserves this. And I think back to John Dorsey being on the phone when he called Baker Mayfield. I've never seen a man be more sure about a decision he's ever made in life than John Dorsey was about drafting Baker Mayfield. And so now you look where this team is. You look where he has brought them. This is what you got him for, right? The excitement that he showed you was not only excitement for Baker Mayfield and for his teammates and for his coaches, but it was for that city. Now, we got to fast forward that. What do you do with it now? It's been 18 years since you have this opportunity. You were playing really well for a stretch where people thought you were probably the best team in the AFC North. Now you have to face an opponent that you see often. You have to face Big Brother on their field in the playoffs, which is their time. Can you play better? Can you overcome the adversity of the last 2 weeks of the season and not just make this a feel-good story, but make this a thing that your organization stands up on for the years going forward, saying 2020 was the year this organization changed?
And Dan, I love it when you talk about the relationship, sort of the melding, if you will, between the coach and the quarterback. And that, I feel, was a huge part of the success story in Cleveland this year.
It's the most important relationship in the building. And Cleveland's got their two right guys, right? Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, and Baker Mayfield got it done. I mean, think about that. 18 years. 18 years it took for them to find the right coach and the right player. Listen, the Browns of old would have lost this football game. Baker Mayfield of last year would have lost this football game. And you've seen like this maturation happen. And I love the saying, there's no excuses and no explanations. Just get it done. Like, there was excuses that were going to be ready for the Browns. They haven't had practice in really 2 weeks, right? Because of COVID. 3 out of the 4 days this week have been missed. But them making the playoffs, and Baker playing big boy football in the second half. Listen, everyone who didn't see the game, he played big boy football. He made some big throws in the second half. He also had 3 scrambles using his feet to kind of go end and salt that game away. This is an enormous moment for this franchise. 4 years before, the 3 years before they drafted Baker Mayfield, they got 4 wins. In his 3rd year, with 57 head coaches and 27 offenses in that span, they got 11 wins, and they're in the playoffs. This is a big deal in Cleveland. Congratulations.
Yep.
There is no way to sell the Cleveland Browns making the playoffs as anything other than a very big deal, regardless of how they look going in and regardless of who they play this coming Sunday. We will spend some time on that as we continue here on Get Up. Meanwhile, get me Shefty back here because we need to go through a bunch of storylines. Shefty, let's start with Mike Evans. We saw the injury. What do we know?
Bruce Arians said he escaped major injury, that they dodged a bullet. Now, the difficulty for the Bucs is they're on a short week. They